Okay, this is Brandon from Galaxydoc Market. It is June 5th, approximately, oh, it's like 4:20, 4:40 p.m. after the market has closed, and I'm bringing you the Galaxydoc Market earnings update on Lululemon. They just reported their Q1 earnings, and previously about 12 days ago, and if you haven't seen it, please go back and watch this video. Learn this indicator to dominate the stock market like a pro. In it, we discussed our PPO ADX crush indicator. Here's the disclaimer. Pause it, read it. If you agree, please move forward. And so, as expected, and based on our PPO ADX crush indicator, and that is a proprietary way Galaxydoc Market that I have developed over the last 35 years of my trading, has properly forecasted exactly what was going to happen. And I had said before, and in our group, in our membership group, and also on the videos, many times that it was all about the inventory. And the reason why Lululemon was taking it up the butt, really coming down, is because of the excessive inventory build. They bought just too much, and they basically startled the investors. And so it was all about that inventory. And we got our 15% reduction to 1.3 billion. It's still large, but that's a start. And I think they were waxing optimism about how that inventory build will come down. And that's all the street needs to hear. This is one of the Wall Street's darlings in terms of high betas. And how do we forecast this? Okay, that's the question that we're going to answer on this video. Okay. Real quickly, they also announced, and the street loves buybacks, right? It's not over in terms of the markets, right? We're going into the summer melt-up mode, and $1 billion buyback has been authorized, and they basically beat earnings. Now, there's a lot of analysts that thought maybe this quarter that they weren't going to do well, but they handily beat the EPS. And we didn't really have to know these fundamental numbers, and we'll go into why PPO ADX crush indicator is so important. And they beat on revenues. Estimate was 2 billion. They did 2.21 billion. But not only that, the surprise was that they guided for the rest of the year. Usually they guide for the next quarter, 14.27 per share. Analysts were projecting 14.14. Again, that's a very, very bullish, optimistic output for an environment where there is consumer demand destruction. I said before, yes, it's still ongoing, and no, Lululemon is not out of the woods, but the stock does not go down in a straight line, and I anticipated, based on our PPO ADX crush indicator, which we'll go over, and if you haven't seen it, watch the video before. Clearly said that this is probably going to happen. Okay, so what it is a PPO is price percent oscillator and ADX. I'm not going to go too much into it. Pause it and read all of this. We covered this in our courses and within our basically membership group. Okay, this was a previous slide from back when 12 days ago. And I said, hey guys, we need to pay attention to this right here, right? This crush indicator, that's what that is. And you need to learn how to use that. We correctly identified 12 days ago, and we've been building within our group positions on this. And from all intents and purposes, unless something drastic happens, it looks like we will be handsomely rewarded with at least, between 8 to 20x trade here. And so we talked about this crush indicator, these patterns, and if these patterns look like a gobbledygook to you, you need to click the link below and schedule a consultation with me or inquire about joining our group or learning about our courses that we have that covers all this. Again, we talked about how PPO ADX, you can pause it and read all of this, and we gave you a very educational slide and slideshow back in 12 days ago. Okay, and if you applied this and you applied it to your trading, then congratulations, okay? And it will change your trading. Here's currently what's going on, and I wanted to show you, and I'm going to show you what's going on currently. But this is today's weekly chart, and obviously this type of stuff has been identified as a PPO ADX, and the crush became really pronounced over the last couple of weeks since we've announced this previous video 12 days ago. And I said, hey, look, there's a possibility that we're going to, not possibility, but a high probability that we are going to bust through this 334 trend line right here, and probably test by the market open around this. The green line is 100-day moving average, and possibly into this 20 SMA and the 50 SMA, and then there is the overhead trend line. Now, our group basically has contracts expiring on June 14th, and we've been accumulating when nobody thought Lulu was going to go higher. And that's what you do. You have to buy these contracts as a directional options trader when nobody's expecting this. And that's what we provide at our group. Okay. And so we'll just give you some examples of what's going on, what we called, and just actually today's, okay? Because I told people you can, that you can still add to it. There are people that even bought the 380s for next week, okay? And those will most likely be in the money. Okay, so what's happening right now currently in the stock market? So what's going on is that, very bullish news. I think we're going to chop around here. Everyone's saying, well, this looks like a head and shoulders. It may very well be. All right. But I think we're going to chop around here probably because of the level of short percentage that was on the stock. We may, at the opening of the bell, start to get some short squeeze that's going on. Regardless, this is where we started. This is where we are. Of course, this is still, ETH session. So a lot of things can happen, but that was a very bullish earnings report. Okay. And we predicted that using PPO ADX crush indicator. So we started accumulating our Lulu position back in May 24th, sorry. Okay. And you can pause it. You can get some glimpse of the detailed commentary and analysis that you get as part of our membership in our group. But we talked about Lulu as our watch list, and I said Lulu is nearing the bottom. June 7th, 340 calls. That was our initial calls. Okay, and then as we go, we're going to start nibbling on these. Add to Lulu, ready to explode higher. And I kept saying, hey, look, add to Lulu, keep adding, right? And that's when I published this Lulu easy to understand, indicator. I said add Lulu 6.7 and 6.14 340 calls. This was back in 28th. Okay, and this is what we do. We just basically accumulate our shares and contracts as we go. And then you can see our other things. But this is just outlining to you, all the Lulus are highlighted. And so this is what we do. We've been talking about Lulu for a long, long time. You don't just go out and buy calls or puts or whatever it is all at once. You establish a small position, and as things go your way, you basically add, okay? So, and then I even went as, a little bit of a YOLO, but if there's some people that didn't listen, right? I've been pounding the table. There's some members, you know who you are in our group, that didn't take these, okay? So some of them got the 380 strike. That expires next week on Friday. We believe it's going to go much, much higher than that. And if you want to learn more about that, you need to email me and find out, right? So what we want to do is we want to learn the power of PPO ADX crush indicator, all right? And so that's kind of our presentation. Everybody's wondering what it is that we do within our group. There's a lot of activity, a lot of learning that goes on. It is a very nurturing and, a group focused on not only learning, but supporting one another, but also learning the psychology of the market and these indicators that you may not have heard before because I made them up over the last 35 years of my trading experience. So join us on x.com, like us, share us, and above all, comment, good and bad, okay? And I want to thank you and subscribe, please. Okay, I just started this new channel about 3 weeks ago, and the response has been overwhelmingly good. If you want to do business with me, Coach Brandon at protonmail.com. Otherwise, let's get some alpha, folks.